a nice, semi-decent time in the morning. We've stayed up pretty late last night, so I was actually up at 6 a.m. this morning, even though I went to bed well after midnight, but still kind of just catching up. So, let me just do the tweet real quick before we get started. And as I promised yesterday, we'd kind of do something a little different for today, just to kind of break in the new year with a new kind of little mini project. Hopefully it'll be something we can do within the hour and a half that we're here. I do have things to do. We've got like a New Year's brunch that we're going to, so I can't hang on for all morning, but I'm gonna spend some time with you guys. Good morning, Soccer Top. How was your New Year's Eve? We had a lot of people popping firecrackers all around, so like gunshots and stuff. It made me nervous, but yeah, it was pretty loud. But what was nice is it only lasted like, I don't know, 15 minutes maybe. It was like pop pop and then like pop pop, and then like at the last it was like just a whole barrage of noise, and then it was over like in a few minutes, so that was good. Anyway, we're here at my alt's plot, Celery Greenleaf, at her plot called CBDC Creation Station. Now that stems from a kind of a guild thing that I was doing. It's on hiatus for a little while now. You're sick. Oh gosh, I'm sorry to hear that. Hope you get to feeling better. Holidays times is not the best time to be sick. I mean, no time is really the best time, but you'd rather be, sick on a day that you don't have some things that you might want to do. Anyway, the CBDC is a custom-built decor challenge that I would do for my guild, and that's what the name comes from, if anyone's wondering. Like I said, that challenge is kind of on a hiatus for a while. We would have like lots of people. I say lots, it'd be like a good handful of people that would participate. But as time went on and we got closer to like the holidays, and just people just generally got, I don't know, discouraged with the game, bored with the game, whatever, they kind of veered back from that. They kind of reeled it in and didn't really participate as much. So I've kind of put it on hold for now. So that's why we're not really seeing CBDC stuff, but the name still stands. So. Oh, well, then I guess this is the perfect time if you're not really into celebrating. We really aren't either. We stayed up and we did like a little marathon of Big Bang Theory, and it was over like before 11, I think, and I just stayed up a little bit and read one of my Christmas presents. My husband knows that I like. I have a few favorite writers, so he always happens to get me a book or two each year. So I mean, I get more books throughout the year, but he definitely always makes sure to try and get me at least one or two. They don't last very long. Typically, if I really get into a book, they're gone within a few days because I'm already done with it. Because, it's like one of those obsessive things. If you're into the story, you just don't want to put it down. But anyway, enough about that. What we decided we were going to do today is work on a side project. It's kind of like not a challenge per se, but kind of. I had a fellow builder who likes to contact me through the forums to pick my brain for various things and stuff. Asked if I had tackled a jukebox. And if I had, like maybe how I had done it, what pieces I used, and if I hadn't, how I would, what things I think could work as one. They did specifically say they were looking for something kind of Granok inspired, so you're thinking wood and stone, that kind of thing. Well, not lots of people are not very social butterflies in soccer, so that's actually sounds like me. We mostly just stick to ourselves. We don't do any socializing outside the house. Anyway, so yeah, while I already mailed them some comments, some ideas, and things, um, I thought it would be fun to try and put one together just because they mentioned it, and I haven't tried putting a jukebox together. Now, I have seen a few. I know for sure Distrixia Blackthorn has one on their plot. I think it's a bar slash guild thing, and inside the home they have a little bar dance area, and there's a jukebox there. There is actually one. Let me see if I can show it. There's actually one shown in the decor, but as far as I know, it's not actually in game. So it's nifty looking, and so it gives you an idea of WildStar's esque type of jukebox. But we're going to kind of use this and just general pictures that I've seen of this type of thing and see if we could build something along those lines. Now, I don't really have any kind of neon, which would probably be really good for trimming it in the front. If I get a hold of some later, I may come back and kind of dress it up a little bit. But for now, we're just going to keep it just general looking. So the very first thing, not all jukeboxes have that rounded top, but generally speaking, if you think of jukebox, a lot of people are going to picture the one kind of like the one that we just previewed. It's got a curved top. And while we do have several things that could probably work for that, like the tiki bar or the I want to say it's the fancy bar, but I think it's actually got a different name. I'm not sure what it's called. Charming bar. I always say fancy, I think, but charming is the actual term. You could use really anything's kind of like partial curve, but the one thing that really comes to mind for me are the hover part pieces. We just have that nice little curved bit, so I don't know if I have any. Yeah, I'm just gonna buy a couple here now. Depending on the shape, maybe you don't want to go the traditional just little half moon thing or whatever, but I think we will kind of keep it sort of recognizable. Wow, that thing is like really big. So first thing I'm going to do is, well, it would be nice to kind of set it up kind of like where you're planning to put it. Again, even in the interior, typically I like to build objects, especially custom ones, in a way that it's like easier to rotate things. So I keep everything nice and square. And fortunately, the silly controls don't follow the... You think the controls will be closer to the object, but no, not happening. And let's see. So there's that recognizable curve. What we'll do is I'm going to try and avoid using a bunch of the kati, because I know there are still a lot of players that don't use the add-on, and I call it a must-have. It's not necessarily really must-have. You can build without it. it just might take a little bit longer, and that kind of thing. But I think I'm gonna steer clear of it, kind of a little bit today, just for the sake of those that don't use it. Maybe they don't feel left out. I don't know. It really is a good idea to get it though if you don't have it, just to give it a try. If you've not checked it out, whoops. But you can see how awkward it is. I could have just linked these two and then copied them and then moved both at the same time, and now I'm having to do it piece by piece. So it's possible, but like I said, it's just a little slower. Of course, where is that thing? There it is. For those that haven't used the add-on before, there is a considerable learning curve. So allow yourself time for that, to get familiar with all of the controls and things. Okay, I think that's deep enough. We don't want it like a big hunky thing. I want to keep it kind of simple. I don't know if it's going to work as nicely as I'm thinking, but we're going to try. So the next thing is the straight part. So sticking with the hover part pieces, we'll go with the full pipe straight part. Let's see, where is that? And I don't think these things size down exactly the same. So you just kind of have to figure out what works. Because like I think these are, I think that's going to be, see how it's a little bit more narrow, so you have to kind of juggle around with sizing. Well, it's pretty close, I guess. The issue with some of these being right on it, if they're a bit of overlap, they'll do that flashy bit, so you kind of have to try and get it as close as you can to the edge without leaving a gap. That looks all right. Probably not going to be perfect, but this is just kind of again, we like doing like little quick and dirty builds, just to give it a try, see how it works. I may end up going a little bit like 3 deep instead of 2, because depending on the little fobs and things that we add to it, it may require a little bit more thickness to kind of hide some of that we don't want showing. Now again, I'm building kind of to her height, so I don't want it really tall, but you can see that I put this about the height that I want it, but the side pieces don't go all the way to the floor, so I have to add some extras. And I have to sink it in pretty good because I don't want there to be some blinky. So now if by chance you have this like on an upper floor and the floor is kind of thin and you don't want that being pushed down, you could probably use the short one. This is the large one. There's like a medium and a small version of the full pipe, so you could probably just use a little chunk, but it's just quick and easier to just duplicate the same one, and I'm not worrying about what's showing through at the bottom, so just a reminder. Another reminder too, while we're building, I've been kind of spamming, well, I'm not spamming, but posting reminders here and there in the zone chat and on Twitter about the housing competition. This is the 1st of January, so that means you've got roughly 1 week to go. So if you still haven't entered your house, either because you're just kind of waiting to the last minute or you're still working on it, get yourself in gear, because this week is going to go by faster than you think, and you don't want to miss your chance to show us your stuff. Because like I said, just basically 1 week left. We've already gotten another entry or two, I think. So it's pretty exciting. I've taken some sneak peeks at some of the entries that I'll be judging, but I'm kind of holding back, waiting purposefully until after the 7th, because I know while some people will enter the competition, there may be a few things that they're still adding, and I want to give them time to include those before I go around and take a look. So if any of you have actually entered and you're wondering about that, at least for my part, I'm waiting, because I want to make sure that I see it all as you intend it to be seen. As well, it's going to be good that I have ways to contact the people either via forum or Twitter or in-game even, because if I can't find your like bunker house or something, you've got it really hidden, I'm going to probably contact you and say, hey, how do you get to it? Because I again, don't want to miss anything. And while we're not really specifically saying, hey, give us some tours or anything, I want to make sure I catch it all. Okay, so we have the general shape. And I'm holding off on boxing in the back because I'm not sure exactly how I want to do that yet. It probably will depend on all the other things that we're going to include. So we're going to start off with something for the front. Now, I'm kind of doing like an old-fashioned one, so I don't know if folks will really get what I'm trying to pull off here, but let's see. Usually there's like a little speaker in the bottom. It's like a big long, at least I think that's what it is, a speaker. It might just be decoration and me not, understanding what it actually is. But I recall seeing these little like little grill things in the front. So that's what the netting is supposed to represent. And then I'm going to you just can't see. Where is that? There it is. That is really annoying. See if we can get it to work this way. Where is that? The green? Trying to get this sorta. Oh, blue and red, blue and red. I'm just messing that up. Wow, I'm just like totally. I keep hitting the wrong arrows. There we go. I'm looking for the center mark there to make sure I kind of got it in the same place. And then, whoops, Wrong way. Probably not right again. Oh gosh. I want it flush with the front, kind of, and then I want to. There we go. I'm getting closer, kind of. There we go. Gosh. So basically, I'm gonna repeat the shape. Now, again, this would probably be easier if I used Katya's. Obviously, it would be easier because then I can get all of the pieces at once. But like I said, I'm gonna try and do this without, because I do realize that there are those that just have yet to get introduced to it. And while it is good that I continue to show it for those that haven't, so that they can kind of get an idea of my work, I want to show that it is possible to do without. I do know that a lot of people, well, I say a lot, some people prefer just to go add-on free, even if it is quality of life kind of stuff. And in some part, I'm kind of that way. I only use a few, and most of them are like housing related, so I can completely sympathize. And I know some that feel like they don't like being told, well, you have to have this. They want the option to do without if they want. And so we're just gonna show that it's possible without. It's just easier with. It wouldn't take as long, especially this part, because I can't see squat. Normally I would just link all of these together and just shrink it down, and then you'd have your bit. Okay, so just adding in this front part to kind of represent the speaker thing or whatever it's supposed to be. Really don't know if that's what it is, but that's what I think of when I see it, so. Oh, I can't really zoom in on there. I think there was a little bit of blinky, but I just get past that. Raise this up a little bit so that bit isn't showing through. Okay, so there we have like the initial kind of front. Now we need to box it in a little bit. You could go with complete hover part pieces, but I think we're going to dress it up a little differently just to give it some design. And I figured maybe some of the floors would be good. I'm especially thinking the Granok one. It is Granok themed, and that's supposed to be the Granok floor, though you don't see this pattern anywhere else except on this goofy looking floor piece. But if it says it's Granok, then I'm going to use it because it's Granok themed. And you know, that's the whole idea behind this little project anyway, so okay, so I'm gonna have to tweak this a little bit, try and get it. Let's see, I'm looking to see where the design lands, so it's kind of even. And then I'm gonna have to adjust this a bit. I think we'll push this in. I'm trying to decide, do I want the pattern on both the exterior, the interior? Maybe I should use, well, I don't think the granite arches are the same pattern. Because I think I want something different on the interior here. So just thinking, we've got layers as well to think about. I think I may pull this out a bit, so I'm gonna link this all up. Green. I like that, and then see if I can raise this up so that the grate is all the way top to bottom. That's pretty good. And I know there's some bits sticking out here, but I think we'll be able to cover that up with some other things. So I'm not too worried about that. Let's see, I think I want to use something else different there. Excuse me. Yeah, something a little different. Yeah, I don't know. I guess they decided to change that because I don't remember it having the backside where it has that. But I find this interesting. I like using it for like kitchens and bathrooms sometimes. But it's just weird that no other piece has this pattern on it. And also, a lot of people get kind of annoyed because the granite, the stone bit, looks, it's not exactly like the Chua, but it's close enough where they kind of look the same. It's a little weird. In fact, maybe we'll just use the other side for that center part. Probably going to be problematic because of the curve. Now let's cancel that. Oh, somebody's mentioning the build, so I gotta write down the character name before I forget. Okay, so what do we want to put there? Maybe I don't want to do the arch because it's just going to leave a gap, so maybe blah 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 blah. What are we going to put? Always close it. This would have been an okay thing to use if you wanted to use a different kind of a grate. You'd use the actual grate shelf, which will work fine too. I'm surprised so many people are out and about today. I figured a lot of them would be recovering from last night. Maybe I use this. Kind of expensive. Oops. So before I purchase, I'm going to just see what it looks like before I commit to the amount. I'm really going to have to start watching myself on how much I spend. I notice I've been kind of spending a lot of renown and not really replenishing it like I should, and getting low on that. Okay. Closer, not too bad. Guess we'll go ahead and take it. May not be perfect, but let's see, grab that from the back. I don't think that's perfectly flat because it was like a little off. That's close enough for me. And then I'm going to push this down to about right at the edge of this here. And then we're going to put probably some glass. We'll just use blue since we have that. Not any particular reason why. I'm hoping that I can tuck this in and it still be all the way up at the top. Looks like we're good. Okay, so now we have to build the part where you would like see the records or whatever. Probably a poster. Probably have to use a few because I don't want it intruding on. Don't want it sticking out the back like that. Although maybe it's okay. I don't know. We'll leave it like that for now, but if we decide that it really should be more like a little bit flatter, if you want to keep it flat, I'm just thinking maybe like power source might have a little bit of a bulge kind of thing or something in the back. You could, like I said, we may end up extending it a third section just to beef it up a little bit. think we'll just leave it like that, because one of the things when you're doing these custom builds, you don't want to get too item intensive. It's easy to do that, especially when you are thinking, oh, I could use 6 buttons instead of 3 buttons and that kind of thing, but you just kind of want to be careful about that. Okay, so for most of the jukeboxes that I've seen, obviously the easiest item to use as a record are the white plates. I'm trying to come up with a different way of using something that kind of looks like a record, but you just kind of have to kind of go with your imagination. And I happen to have a bunch of frying pans, so I thought, well, I'll try and use those. I don't know if it's really going to play well. No pun intended there, but we're going to see. So clearly we have that issue with the handle sticking out, but I'm hoping once we get this in there, it will be all right. Your cat healed your cold. Dare I ask how that was possible? I'm hoping this looks kind of like a stack of records or something along those lines. And then the easiest and probably the one that I see most often are the hammers. You could probably get away with some other things, but this is pretty handy for most people to just grab. And what we'll do is see, because this looks like it could be a good like needlehead kind of thing. So let's drink it down. I just barely want it to kind of touch. Now I'm going to place it first just so that I don't lose where it is at the moment, and then I'll make some micro adjustment kind of thing. I don't want it to be straight. I kind of want it to be at an angle. I want it to go up a little bit more still. Yeah, I think that'll work. And then we'll just do another hammer. Something like that. There you have it playing. Where the records go, how they get on there, and how it switches and stuff, I have no idea. I'm not going to get into the logistics of the whole setup, but that's how I think we're going to leave it. Let's go ahead and do these again. Where is that green one? Looks like the frying pans are going to stick out a little bit. we'll think of something for that. Now let's just try and get this situated. Overlap a little bit. Wow, that's... Oops. So annoying that that's so far off. Oops. There we go. So it's going to box in most of it, but the panhandles we'll have to go with. Which I think I have an idea for that, so I'm not too worried. That was supposed to be minus. Okay. For the front, some other details you can add besides that. I'm actually looking at some of these, and it looks like maybe this should be the other way around. So I'm going to see if we can easily, I say easily, and it's probably not going to be easy at all. I like this. I don't know how troublesome this is going to be to switch it. But we're going to try it. Afraid of that. Probably have to shrink this down and do a couple of them. I think we'll just make that part of the design, just for the heck of it. Try and make it look like it was meant to be there. I don't know if that's going to work anymore. just trying to get the knitting to show up all over it, and it's gonna give me pain. I think it actually fit better when I was pushing it down below instead of the other way. Okay, I think that might work. Leave this. Okay, and then I need straight pieces to go across the top here. And I think we had that at probably not going to be exact to typical thing, but more so it doesn't flashy. And then I think here is where it has like the song selection kind of things. So I think what we'll use is maybe some books. And I'm not sure, well, I keep closing that. Not sure if it'd be better to use the spine or the open end. I almost want to say the open end would probably be better. Kind of like the little tag, the name, where the name would be. So let's just place one here. Rotate it. Get it squared up. Shrink it down and probably have like 9, maybe 9 songs. I'm gonna center this first. And when I say center, I'm just eyeballing it. No measurement going on. And then we're gonna there's a way you could select them and like use Katya's for like making sure you get it evenly spaced and all that kind of stuff, but we're just going to eyeball it. Again, I could just link these and copy the set and then be done with it, but do it like this. Let's see. $179.37. 4. Okay, and then we'll do the same thing over here. Again, I'm just eyeballing to see if it's roughly the same distance apart. And if you don't like the position, you know, this way and that way, then just grab it and, you know, link all of these up together and move them as a group. To my eye, it looks about right, so I'm gonna leave that as it is. You could, if you want, add buttons for them. Like the detonator is real good if you're looking for like flashy buttons. You could use this, for instance. That down. If you want to give some kind of electronic look to it, you can just pop it in there, and now there's a little button. Maybe that's the button you push to select the song or whatever. And you need to put one for each and every one of them. Now, if you notice the blinkiness, they're kind of out of sync, but every now and then the timing of it is a little funny, so sometimes it matches up and they all blink in unison, and other times they're kind of off. I think when you're first putting them in, they kind of are off depending on when you set them down, but when you come out of your plot and then come back in, I think they blink in unison. Because I used them for the holiday lights that one time, and so I think I remember it blinking kind of at the same time. I've seen folks use these to spell out words. The only problem with that is it is kind of item intensive, you know. So that's 183. And one more set. But like I said, if you have the neon, like the signs, like either the octopus signs or the other beer signs, those probably work really well in trimming this up with some kind of neon if you really want to kind of make it look electronic-y and everything like that. If you don't like this being kind of offset now that it's a little, you got all these other pieces in, we could just group it all together. Again, there's ways you can kind of group large amounts of objects, like this particular add-on that I'm using for the copy paste. It actually links nearby decor in a radius, but I don't want everything linked that's in the general vicinity, so I prefer I still prefer doing my linking most of the time manually, just to make sure I'm getting the stuff I want. I believe it's Katya's that has a way that you can link liked items, you know, similar items. So like if you have a bunch of boxes and then in the center there's a bunch of plushies or something, you can link all the plushies together and avoid selecting the boxes. Okay, so now I gotta do the lights. Time consuming the way I do it, but I feel a little bit more in control. I know what's actually going into the set than just kind of fingers crossed and hoping that I get all the pieces that I want or don't want, that kind of thing. I do make mistakes though, so you know, it's really just whatever's easiest for you. It's the same way with like using the add-ons, your choice to use them or not. It's just a matter of preference. I'm just moving this over a little bit so that the edge, regardless of if it's a light or a button, is just kind of the same equidistance there. Okay, so we have kind of basically the main bits of it, I think. You could add a little coin drop if you want. You could add other little doodads in here, little wires and buttons and things that maybe would look good. Again, you could turn this in some kind of neon to kind of dress it up a little bit. If you're going for a particular faction or something and you have like a symbol, like say you're trying to make it Protostars, then some of the items with Protostar emblems on it would be good for like a little decal kind of logo on top of it. I don't know what a Granok horn would be other than a beer, but I don't think a beer stuck inside there would look all that nice. But see if there's any signs we can maybe use. All of them are pretty expensive. A keyhole window for a coin drop. Well, that's an idea. So you could use like a Marauder if you have a Marauder hangout, you want a Jukebox for them, just use the little emblem there, that kind of thing. I don't think the Granok really have any kind of... I got him, you could put him on there, I guess. I don't think I would do that. If it's an Orin one, obviously like Google's or something like that would work, that kind of thing. So let's see about boxing this in. Probably the quickest and easiest would be just to use another poster. The trick behind that is to make sure you do it both ways so that the gray is showing on both sides. Now, if you don't want to go with metal, a metal backing, that's up to you. If you want to do it completely wood, that's perfectly fine. I'm just going with what I feel would be easiest for me. So I'm going to enlarge this up. Hopefully, I can get it to fill up the bits without poking out, which it looks like that's going to work. And I'm going to push it in. I'm going to see how it looks from the front first, because you know you still want the needle to be showing, all that kind of stuff. Looks okay to me. So then I just copy that. Oops. Excuse me. And there we go. It looks okay from the front, no kind of weirdness. The only thing is the pan handles sticking out, and I figure you could just pretend that's the power supply little hookup thing and just have like have your cables hooked up to that. I think that would work fine and be somewhat believable, sort of. So just finagle this thing on here so that it looks like it's attached. I'm trying to think what other things you might use for coin slots. Probably anything silver that you could might make it like look like a grid or a grate kind of thing. I know I've seen a few people do some nifty stuff, but I hadn't thought about the keyhole window. But that would probably work pretty nice. That is an idea. Notice I'm just kind of following the shape of the wire. Doesn't necessarily have to be perfect, just so that it's all kind of connected and then plugged into the wall somewhere. If you want to get precise, you could add little, little staples or something to indicate why this one is stuck to the side there if you want. But I don't think it's that big of a deal. There we have a little plug-in for the, not too bad for just kind of winging it a little bit, I hope. Like I said, there's all sorts of things you can add to it, and other materials you can use in place of what I've chosen. I mean, if you don't like that particular coloring, you could use pillows or posters even, other types of floors, anything with a pattern you like or a color you like, that kind of thing. The main thing you probably want to aim for is something that's flat. Not necessarily flat on the other side, but at least for the side that you want, because I think it works better with it being kind of smooth. So there you go, jukebox, or whoever needs a jukebox. I'll have to mention this to the individual that asked me about it. Don't even know how to pronounce the name. It's like Adioline? I don't know. Adelon, I think. That's the individual that was asking me about it. So this is for you, Adelon. Some ideas for a jukebox. Now you could finish this off with some kind of trim and stuff, but I'm not going to worry about it. You could actually set it up so that it's kind of up and has like some fluted feet, like, I don't know what you would put there, just something a little extra different. You could use one of those caroling microphones that has the music symbols coming out. You could tuck that inside and have the music kind of spraying out. If you want to give it some kind of animation looking kind of stuff. There might be things that you could actually put in here to make it animated, to make it look like it's moving around kind of thing. I don't know. There's probably lots of ways you can do this. This is just my quickie approach to it. And I hope you guys had fun. It's going to be really short today because, like I said, we've got plans. And in fact, we'll be getting ready here in another hour or so. And there's other things I got to do around the house before I go do that. So thanks for dropping in. I hope you enjoyed this little quickie demo of how to put together a jukebox, my version. Um, be sure and join us next week. We're going to be tackling, I'm going to be removing probably over the weekend. I think I'm going to break down the Advent house, start removing the pieces from that, and then next week we'll start setting up some new bits in place of the Advent house. For example, I think we're going to put like an information booth or something, just something to kind of tide us over until the next idea pops along. Um, Probably the next big holiday that we might start thinking about decorating for, that I can think of that I would want to decorate for, is probably Valentine's Day, but that's still quite a ways off. So I don't want to get too into that right now. So we're probably just going to stick with more just a general winter theme, not winter fest, but winter theme. How I'm going to do that, I don't know exactly, but we'll come up with some things, I'm sure. In the meantime, I do have the house tour still going on every Wednesday. Next week we'll start in with just some random housing. It's not any particular theme. Although if you guys think that would be better if I had like, maybe all spaceships one time and then another, I just kind of like mixing it up so that there's a little bit of something for everyone. Because not everybody's into all Orin kind of themes, lots of jungly and bushes and pillows and things like that. So I like to kind of try and mix it up. The only reason I went with theme this month is just because it was a special holiday time. So I may do that again though, like as we get closer to Valentine's Day and I start seeing a lot of like romantic type of plots and things, then we may kind of set up a theme for that. But it probably won't be a month-long thing. It just might be one special broadcast for that. But definitely, we've got things going on. I've got the new idea for the empty shop that we still have in the plaza, which I'm going to start working on. I have some ideas brewing, but I'm going to wait until we're ready to actually start working on that before we talk about it. And again, just general small little decorations. I'm probably going to redo the WildStar mini house fab kit interior. Right now it's kind of like a quickie. It was a rushed little present toy shop kind of thing, and I'm probably going to change that up at some point. But until I get a good idea what I want, I'm going to leave it for now. But it's just like I'm not even sure if I'm going to keep the snowy scenery on the outside. I may actually change that up. The structure of the building itself is going to remain, but I may go ahead and switch to a different scenery than the snow once we start getting into the warmer months. Just to kind of mix things up a little bit and make it a little different. Obviously the contours are going to be different. There's not going to be those big, large mountains and stuff, unless they come up with some nice decor that we can use similar that we do with the ice platforms, but we'll see. In the meantime, just another reminder, the housing competitions, I believe Black Dagger Societies is ending today. Their deadline is, I think I saw a tweet from them. In fact, I'm pretty sure I retweeted it, that as soon as the one that's handling the logistics of it wakes up this morning, they're going to close the thread or close the submissions. So if you haven't entered in theirs and you were intending to, it may be already too late. So be sure and check that out ASAP, because I believe their deadline ends today. Venus Risings, though, is still, you still have about a week. The submission deadline on that one is January 7th. So if you haven't done it yet and you're aiming for it, get yourself busy. Get on it now, because you don't want to miss out. In fact, I know of at least 2 or 3 people that have mentioned to me that they were planning to do it and that they're working on it, and I still haven't seen them sign up. So, you guys need to get yourself in order and get it going and done and signed and all that stuff, because the more houses I get to look at, the better. And of course, once the submission is closed, there'll be a week or so that the judges get to look around and, jot down their little notes, and the winner will be announced on the 15th of January. I'm not sure when Black Dagger Societies will be done. I haven't looked at the thread. I've been really bad about not paying attention too much to that one because it's just entity side, and while I support housing wherever it may be, I still kind of focus on Javit. So shame on me for doing that, but the link to the thread and all the information is there on my Twitch channel page, so you're more than welcome to check it out. Trying to think, is there anything else that I need to mention? Just another word that if you are on Javit Exile side, we do have a housing circle that you're welcome to join. Slowly getting more and more individuals involved. It's not a really busy chat, but if you're like looking for some advice, feedback, just some quick brainstorming kind of stuff on items that you can use for a particular project you're working on, they're a very helpful bunch. It originally started out as a group from an actual one guild, and they just kind of started expanding the invite list to those that they know are really into housing and just want to share or support or otherwise discuss housing. So if you're interested, let me know, contact me in game, and I'll be sure and get you invited to that because we still have plenty of room for folks. I think that's it. I can't think of anything else. I'm sure there's something that I'm forgetting, but anyway, thanks again for stopping by, watching, whether it be live or after the fact. I know a lot of folks like to watch it after it's done, mostly because my time of broadcast probably doesn't match up with their time of being available. But I wish you all a happy new year. Hopefully with the new year comes new and improved housing, not just more decor that we can choose from, but hopefully new features. I think a lot of people are looking forward to the possibility that we may be getting neighborhoods this year sometime. They've been talking about it, kind of hinting at it, saying that it's there, and they've want to really make it big and cool, but we're still waiting. So maybe this year will be the year for that. Yeah, all I can see is bigger and better things for housing. I think Carbine realizes by now that this is a very big pool for a lot of us as far as what draws us into the game and what keeps us here. A lot of us, or I should say, for me, it's I don't do the rating so much. It's more like, yeah, I'll do it if it's there and if they need me, but it's not my focus. My focus is the housing. That's what keeps me coming back. And as long as they continue to feed us new items and new features and things, I don't see myself going anywhere soon. And I think that's true for a lot of people. So I don't see them pulling back on housing at all. I can only see them improving on it and making it more viable for those of us that are really into it, because that means more money for them, for one, but more players maybe. And anyway, have a great day, have a great wonderful weekend, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye bye.